welcome. We're back. I can't believe it. It's been a while since we've had an episode of Binge Live, but I want to welcome everybody back to the fun. Today's going to be a great show. Unfortunately, you get just me because Christina is busy and Meredith is out for family reasons. So I apologize in advance, but it'll be just me and all the cheesiness. But today we're going to have an awesome show. We are back into this time of year where we are focusing a lot on giving back. So we have a wonderful organization today. So I want to go ahead and we're going to get our guests out early because we got two. We got two guests today. So first, I want to welcome Carol Kitabayashi and Larissa Matzek from Westside Pacific Villages. Come on out, guys. Hello. Welcome. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So this is exciting. I'm so glad to have you guys on here. As I mentioned, we're at that time of year where everybody focuses on giving back. And it's such an important time. Well, really, you should do it year round. Let's just say it. You should do it, but there's something about the holiday season that makes everybody want to. So this is fantastic to have you guys on here. Oops, I just hit my screen. So Carol and Larissa, who wants to tell us a little bit about Westside Pacific and give us a brief overview?
We'll let Carol kick it off since she's, this is her opportunity to talk with everybody. She's, as you know, she's heading off
I'm heading off to retirement land.
Yes.
So that's some news to share for those of you in the community who may not have heard that I've made the decision to retire. And so I've been with Westside Pacific Villages for 10 years. And Larissa joined just last month. So she's brand new to WPV. And I know, Joel, you'll cover this, but she's also new to LA. But to answer your initial question about Westside Pacific Villages, we also go by WPV. We are a community-based nonprofit organization based out of Westchester. And our mission is to help older adults, so senior citizens who want to age in their home. That's what most people want to do. They want to live and age and maintain their independence for as long as possible from the homes they love. And so we help them with really basic types of things through a great network of volunteers who can help with picking up and delivering groceries. We can drive them to medical appointments. We do social support phone calls or friendly visits. There's all different ways that we help them stay engaged and connected in their community. We do programs and events like this. We do virtual events and slowly hope to start doing in-person events. So obviously during the pandemic, you can imagine that our program and our services became really a vital network of support for a lot of the most vulnerable people who were sheltered at home. So we really are providing much needed services to the seniors in the community.
So about how many seniors are you currently working with?
So right now it's just under 100. During the pandemic, we actually ran a free program that ended on September 30th, and we had over 200 seniors at that time. So at this point, what we're doing is reintroducing a new membership structure. So for those of you who are familiar with our program prior to the pandemic, we had an annual fee. It got as high as $700 a year, which is actually a very cost-effective way to get the types of services we're discussing. I mean, if you think of transportation and cost for Uber and Lyft and things like that, which most seniors, by the way, don't know how to use and can't use. But we have now reduced our fees significantly to $250 a year.
Wow.
And we also built in a sliding scale for low-income seniors. So we are in the process. Larissa is going to be spending lots of time next year promoting our new program structure. And we are sure that there will be, our membership fees, our membership base will grow back quickly.
That is incredible. Yeah. I mean, to be able to drop from $700 a year down to $250, that is massive. I mean, because I know what you're doing is incredible work for people. I mean, just to give them the support to be able to stay in their homes. I mean, that's a daunting thought about, and don't get me on the societal implications of this, but when you get older, it starts like you start getting left behind. And I hate thinking about that.
Exactly.
But to know that you have organizations like such as WPV, I will use the acronym, there to really help people stay in their homes, but still give them a support system. you know, because a lot of people, let's be honest, you start getting older, your friends are going to start.
Right. They start passing away, or maybe your family is not nearby,
Exactly. Or they can't afford
Um,
to do what needs to.
right. Or, there's a lot of, you talk about the sandwich generation. There's a lot of older adults caring for their young children and their parents at the same time. And, we just are that network of support for an older adult and their loved ones.
That's,
So
that's fantastic.
yeah.
And Larissa, so you are taking over. No
I
pressure.
am.
No
I'm
pressure.
taking over Carol's decade-long legacy. And I'm really grateful, obviously, for all the work she's done. I mean, she's committed so much time and energy to WPV and to making it what it is today. And I'm excited about the future. So
we can talk when she's not on screen about it. No, this is and you just moved to LA from Binge.
From Boston.
Yes.
Yeah, been here about I think it's actually almost month. I think we're in month 10 now. It's gone by slowly and quickly at the same time as that happens. Yeah. So
you did the pandemic move where you're just like, I need to be in a place that's sunny by the water.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have complained about Boston weather for as long as I can remember.
It's rough.
The winters in Boston are pretty tough. And yeah, my husband got a job out here. And I said, well, I'm not sad about leaving Boston winter. So it's snowing there today, as a matter of fact. I spoke to a friend.
Summer. That's one thing people don't think about, because I went to BU. It gets really humid in the summer. And I remember my first apartment was in the Fenway area.
Yep.
And it was great brownstone, but it was an old world charm. So I had no AC. So I remember at night you would spray the sheets with water and put the fan on it.
I never thought of that. I'll have to let my family and friends back home know. Spray your sheets.
Seriously, a little misting of water, you put the fan on, and then I could fall asleep. I have to be cold to sleep. But
yeah.
So that old world charm crap doesn't work.
Yeah. There's a lot of that in Boston. So it's lovely, but the weather is less than desirable. So
and so now you're here. So how did you get involved with Westside Pacific? What was the impetus for it?
Yeah, I mean, I took a little time off when I got out here between my last job back in Massachusetts and coming out here. And, I was applying for a lot of different nonprofit jobs, and nothing really clicked. I mean, sometimes that happens. It takes time, especially when you're looking for kind of a larger role, and something where you're really making a difference day to day in people's lives that's not so sort of removed from, not that larger nonprofits don't do amazing work, they do, but the larger they are, the more removed you are kind of from the people that you're affecting daily. And for me, the jobs I've enjoyed the most are the ones where I'm the closest to the community. And when I saw the WPV posting, I literally was like, oh, I've done all of that, which is loosely, I've done all of that, meaning, I hadn't worked. I know, I'm sorry. I hadn't worked in aging before, and obviously I haven't worked in LA, but meaning the job description, it's like, oh, I know how to do that. And I still wasn't sure. And then I met everybody at WPV and I was like, wow. I mean, I met Carol right away. I met the chair of the board right away. I met at least 3/4 of the board. And I said, this is where I want to be. And so that's, it's probably one of those things where you say, oh, it'll happen when it's time, or whatever those vague things are that people say. But that's exactly what happened. Was the job that I was supposed to have happened when it was time. And so now I'm here.
And 5 weeks in. It's very true. It is like one of those pithy comments that we all make, like, oh, when it's meant to be, it'll be, but it's very true. So Carol, you're about to say were with WPV for 10 years. So here's the fun question, which I know nobody likes answering. What was your greatest accomplishment, and how has it evolved over the 10 years while you were there?
So, it's interesting. So I also found WPV just kind of, I knew I wanted to work with older adults. I transitioned from a for-profit. I worked at Toyota Financial Services for 20 plus years.
There's a change.
But I want to make a change. I want to explore, unlike Larissa, she didn't mention that she's done nonprofit her entire career. I made the move to join a nonprofit organization by starting to do volunteer work. And I happened to walk into WPV at the right time and I really was drawn to the mission. And I felt like it was the right place at the right time. It literally was 10 years ago last month that I started volunteering. And then I found my way, met a guy named Maury Plotkin, who a lot of people know in the community, who really kind of encouraged me to take a leadership role, and just really built it and helped get the word out about what we do. And we've grown and expanded. I think one of the things I'm actually proudest of is what we did last year during the pandemic. To know that we were able to, it was literally on a dime. The weekend that the pandemic hit, just go into overdrive and make sure that we could help all these seniors. That was amazing. And the opportunity is just, Larissa's walking into still a pretty young, even though it's 10 years, we're pretty young on the spectrum of businesses, and there's so much opportunity out there. And I'm excited to see what she's going to be able to do in terms of growing our organization even larger. So, yeah.
No pressure. No pressure at all.
Yeah.
So, as we're coming up on the holidays, one thing which I would love to find out is how this could potentially be depressing, and I'm hoping that it's not. But last year we had, obviously, the pandemic, which is still going on. How was that to get through? Because that's such a time that's dedicated to closeness and being around friends and family. How was that when you're dealing with a senior population that really can't be and shouldn't have been? Like this was prior to vaccines, prior to all of that. How was that? How did you navigate that?
And I think that's the thing that was why it was such a...
I can barely hear you. I'm sorry.
What?
There you are. Okay.
I think that's why it just felt like such a great accomplishment, if you will, or so rewarding. I mean, so it was March, right? Last year, March. And the outpouring of support, if you think back to that time, it was 65 and older. They were the target population that was most vulnerable. And so many people reached out wanting to volunteer. Actually, the Coastal Chamber, Christina reached out and said, hey, United Airlines has some meals. There's this other company that is looking to help seniors. We actually put together a task force of other community partners that included the Coastal Chamber. And, we decided we're offering a free program. We're not going to charge people. And really, one of the things that was really cool is we had a monthly call a neighbor program that turned into a weekly, every week we were calling our seniors. And then we got this cool idea to do a weekly delivery. So once a week, and this actually came through the Westchester Rotary Club. They offered their lunch because they had to cancel lunch. So we were actually visible, visiting people with face masks, 10 feet apart. Every week, we were taking them some special little care package. We were teaching them how to use Zoom so they could meet with their family. So in a way, I guess, as difficult as it was for all of us, we really were able to bring a lot of joy to a lot of seniors and ultimately to the volunteers. Because the volunteers get a lot out of this. I mean, you'd be so surprised what you hear from our volunteers in terms of how meaningful it is to be able to give back in this way.
See, that is absolutely, I don't know how to say it, that is beautiful to hear, because you do worry about this time of the year and with the pandemic and people being alone. I mean, we all were alone. I didn't see my family. A lot of people didn't see their families, and that was hard. I mean, thank God for technology and everything that we have, but it's just not the same. So to know that you were still, and your volunteers were still going out there and doing these things for people just to give them the human interaction that we all needed, it's incredible. So Larissa, how do you think that these programs will be going forward? Like, I mean, we're still in the pandemic. Are you guys still keeping them up?
Yeah, so obviously the needs have shifted somewhat, but they're still there, right? We're not in a place where people are integrating a little bit more into society. There's a little bit more safety with the vaccines. But we're conscientious that this is a global pandemic, and obviously there's a new variant and things are always changing, and so we have to continue to be flexible with that and to meet our members' needs. And so right now, what we're doing that's carrying over from the original program is we are still doing those call a neighbor, we call them CAN calls. And so we're still doing the CAN calls. That's a little different than what we did before. There were some calls, but this is a very specific effort that we're continuing, and people love it. People love it. And so we're still doing that. And for as long as it works, we'll keep doing it. And then we did change our weekly deliveries to monthly deliveries. And people still love that too. And every month we're thinking, ooh, what special thing can we do? You know, last month, November, I'm like, where are we? November, the Westchester Rotary Club did a Thanksgiving dinner for our seniors, you know, and so we literally delivered on Thanksgiving Day, Thanksgiving meals, you know, so are still really cognizant that there's a need for a little bit more support, and we'll continue to be flexible. If things change, then we go back into high gear, you know, and if they don't, if we sort of stay where we're at, then we'll look at building the existing programmatic structure, building our membership, building our volunteer base, you know, to have as many people involved as possible and to help really to reach as many people as possible, right? Reach as many seniors in our community so we can be helpful.
Now, are a lot of the seniors that you work with, are they again, I apologize, are they like senior families with it where it's like two people, or are they?
There are some, and but I wouldn't say, and Carol can probably speak to that. From my understanding, that's not the norm. It's usually more a single person. Carol, is that correct?
Okay. Yeah, generally it is someone living alone, maybe and sometimes it's a couple, but the majority of our clients are, and most of them are women because unfortunately their spouse passes away before, the husband passes away before the wife. But I want to just throw in there too that please keep in mind that, in a way, the life of an older adult who's isolated at home, who doesn't drive anymore, who can't get out and about like they used to, that's their way of life. That was their way of life before the pandemic. And sure. When things are fully, if we ever get there 100% back to normal, that is their way of life and that is their existence. So that is the mission of the village, is to really bring that connection and that community to them. So whether there's a pandemic or not, what we do is very vital to the lives of older adults who are otherwise, as you pointed out, Joel, they are often overlooked and forgotten. And, these people are sitting in their homes by themselves and nobody sees them.
Now, do you think that some of the people, as they're getting introduced to the Zoom technology or just other platforms that people can actually go online, do you find like little groups forming where they're like, let's do like a book club or let's do something online where we're doing like a game night or something like that, yeah. And they start building these friendships?
Yeah. We have a TN chat group, meets twice a month.
Oh, that sounds
there is a small book group. We have a few other virtual events. There's a group of ladies that actually, I think they're meeting in person now, but they play games. They go rotate homes. So we started that before the pandemic, these activity groups. So hopefully we can slowly, Larissa can slowly start reintroducing some of those. Yeah.
But that's great. Even if they stay virtual, it's still a way to get people in your
mm-hmm.
home and in front of people. So I mean, like you were saying, like some of the people who may not have even had big support systems before, or you would have the visits or the phone calls to now have a human being right in front of you.
Yeah, and keep in mind, just a phone call, yeah. Some of our ladies are just happy to speak to their volunteer CAN caller, every other week. They look forward to this stuff. So
that's so awesome. I love what you guys are doing. I think this is such great work. And it's things that we don't even think about or we just take for granted. So I love that. Now, I do want to circle back because you mentioned the chamber, and Christina will be very upset if I don't talk about how we're connected to the chamber. We have to say how great they are. It's a requirement. No, I'm joking. So how has it been? How did you get involved with the chamber? What is my dog is barking. What is the relationship there? How is that?
So when I joined WPV, it was all about getting to know different people in the community, and the chamber was obviously one of them. And I was really fortunate because you guys have this great leadership conference.
Yes.
And I don't know if it might have been, so I don't know how long that's been going on, but I would say shortly, probably within a year after I joined WPV, I was invited to participate in a leadership conference. And it was great. I got to go down to City Hall. I got to see the county jail, which was very eye-opening.
That was
You had different workshops about actually leadership and managing an organization. You got to network with other business leaders in a more intimate setting because you got to see the same people like once a month. But I would also go to the networking events, and you guys are also great about, if we have an event and we want to get it out there, we can ask you to put it on your newsletter or website, and vice versa. So there's been a great relationship if I'm looking for a certain thing, and it's two ways. Like you guys have also, Judith will say, hey, there's a senior who is looking for some help. Can you reach out to the family member? And so you'll refer folks to us. So it's been a great mutual partnership.
Yeah, the chamber is, Leadership Academy, I took it as well, and it is fantastic. Although I think the hardest day for me was we did a tour of the jail downtown. So we started there, but then we wound up on the beach. And that was just kind of like that was a really mentally hard day to get to, because you just saw this exposition of life. That was for me, that was just a hard one, but it was so great to do. That sounds wrong, but I think you know what I mean. The Academy itself was a great experience. So Larissa, tell us a little bit about your background. So your experiences that led you into this realm.
Sure. I was raised by a very, very political mother who, even at the age of 77 during the pandemic, was going door to door working on the census in the middle of the height of the pandemic, which her family members were not wild about, but she was like, I'm doing it. She's worked on every campaign known to humankind. She's worked for a lot of nonprofits. So I come by my need to help people from her. And she still goes 100 miles an hour. Sometimes I'm like, what are you doing? I got to go. I got to get on my Democratic committee call. Just nonstop. So anyway,
that just made me tired.
I know she makes me tired, honestly. I don't know that I'll ever live up to that level of energy, but she, when I went to graduate school many years ago, I went to graduate school to get a degree in nonprofit management. It's at the time, it's at Brandeis University. It's the only program, it was the only program like that in the country. I imagine now there's maybe nonprofit leadership programs, graduate school, but at the time they were the only ones. So they really focused, rather than, oh, you're getting an MBA and you're going to go work for whoever, large corporation. It's like, you're going to get this degree and you're going to go work for a nonprofit. And so that's pretty much what I've done since I got out of there. I've either worked, for nonprofits or led nonprofits. And even when I moved out to LA, I was like, I had friends who were talking to me about their for-profit companies, and I had brief moments where I was like, and then I was like, oh God, I can't sleep at night if I do. I can't.
Your mom won't allow.
Oh my God, I just can't. I don't know. It's just, it's how I'm made, and it's what I care about. And I feel the best when I'm helping other people. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that answers the question, Joel.
It does.
Okay, good.
Very well. Very well. So basically you had no choice. You're ending up in nonprofit. From birth, your mom deemed this so, like.
Yeah, nonstop.
Okay. Now, Carol, as we go to retirement, I'm so jealous. you're not going to sit still. I think we all know this. I think we've all picked up on this fact. What are you going to do?
You know, I'm still very passionate about the village model. So I'll just briefly say that we're not the only organization like this. It actually got its roots in Boston. The first village is in Beacon Hill 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So there is a thing called the village movement. There's 200 plus villages across the country, and there's a little over 40 in the state of California. So I'm involved at the state. There's a statewide coalition, so I'm going to stay involved with villages in that way. I'll also obviously still help WPV. I can't just walk away, and I'll serve as a volunteer. And then I have tons of things that have been sitting around my house for, at least more than a decade that need to get done. And I actually do have some other interests that I would like to pursue in addition to aging. So I really care about the environment and other social injustice. So I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to take my time, but I'm sure I'll be jumping into some other things and just hopefully take some time to just enjoy life.
That's important.
I don't think I've done enough of that. I've enjoyed my career and the work I do, but I think I need to also remember I can just enjoy the sun shining once in a while.
We'll see how that one goes. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this has been absolutely fantastic. So I really cannot thank you guys so much for coming on and joining us this morning. So what is the best way if people want to get involved with Westside, with WPD? What is the best way that they can reach out to get more information? What you tell us.
The website right now, Larissa, shall we just point them there? And there's also an info@ email.
Yes, that's the best way. So it's the WPV, is our website. I'm looking, you can also, I'm just looking for, Carol, I'm sure has our phone number memorized, but I'm gonna tell you what it is right now.
Okay.
You can call us at 310-695-7030, and you can certainly ask to speak to me. We also have a phenomenal staff person. Her name is Elvie, and she would be happy to talk to you as well about all the different things we have going on. But if, and if there are larger things you're thinking about being involved in, again, certainly call me, speak with me. I'm happy to chat with anybody about what we're doing. We're always looking for volunteers and connections, and yeah.
So we always do, I completely almost overlooked this. We normally do a rapid fire round. And because we have 2 guests today, it's going to be a little difficult. But I'm going to make it short. We're just going to do 2 questions. Basically, the way this works is I'm going to ask a question. Carol, we're going to go for you first. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. You'll have 3 seconds to answer each one. And then Larissa, we're going to do the same for you. Okay, so are we ready? It's going to be super fast. This is our drum roll. There's like no budget here. So it's just me tapping on my computer. Okay, welcome to the rapid fire. Here we go. First question. Carol, what is your spirit animal?
Panda bears.
Oh, nice one. And what is the best holiday present you ever received?
A panda bear. A stuffed panda bear. I don't know.
This is why I love this part of the show, because everybody gets that look on their face like, what the hell just happened?
I don't know. A stuffed panda bear. I don't know.
Okay, see, it wasn't that hard. So Larissa, we're gonna do 2 super quick questions for you. Different questions though, different questions. What is your favorite part of living in LA?
The weather.
Yeah, that's fair. Compared to Boston, yeah, especially in the winter. It's gotta be. It's just gotta
the
be.
sunshine, like right now it's sunny out. At home it's snowing, and it will be until I don't know, April.
But you know what? That first snow is stunning until people walk in it and then you're like, oh, ew.
Well, and then cars get in it and you have the gray snowbank. Sorry to everybody who loves snow. This is just the reality.
Okay, and second question. What is your favorite holiday memory?
Oh, geez. Oh, I got a good one. When we were little, my mom would make these, she would literally make like humans sitting on a couch with a paper bag head, dressed in clothes, holding like presents. So my brother and I would each have one. It'd be a stuffed paper bag head with like a smile on it and eyes. And then if like my brother got a hockey stick, the thing would be dressed in like a fleece and like pants and then have a hockey stick.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
So
she
on
always,
top of everything else, she's this super creative woman too.
yes, pretty much. A lot to live up to.
Sounds like my dad, actually. My dad was a lot like that. So
Yeah, just
wow.
This is fantastic. I love this part. I love the randomness that we get from people. It's just awesome. Well, again, I want to thank you both for joining us and telling us a little bit about WPV. And again, if you have any want to learn more about it or get involved, thewpv.org is the best way to start. Again, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. And thanks everybody for watching. And until next time.
Happy holidays.
happy holidays, everyone. Happy New
Thanks,
Year.
Joel.
Thank you.